Peter King here on the Rich Eisen Show. So you were with Baltimore when they found out about Dobbins? Is that where you've been the last 24
I wasn't
hours?
with Baltimore. No, I was there last week for a day and
Okay.
spent time with Dobbins. I had never met him before, and he's really a delightful guy who was so incredibly excited about about playing and about being in the nirvana for an NFL running back, which is Baltimore. I mean, they've averaged, they've run it 56% of the time over the last 2 years. Nobody does that anymore. And he knew that he was in a solid gold place. And yet, on the ninth play of the game on Saturday night, that meant absolutely nothing. His season went down the tubes. So, I wrote about that today. I really ended up feeling for this guy so much after meeting him and talking to him and having a big role on a great team. He said for him is the same for most other people as breathing. That's like all he wants to do in the world. So I spent yesterday really kind of bummed out for J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, I mean, what a horrible turn of events for him, and obviously the Ravens right on the eve of the season. And, Cam Akers didn't get hurt in a preseason game, but that's another significant young running back entering year 2 that would have been in a perfect position as well. But what's the general sense now that this preseason is in the books, that the concept of the 3 games, is there any thought about curtailing it off of some of these injuries that we have seen? I mean, it happens all the time. If we kind of forgot.
It happens all the time, Rich. But I mean, look, could there / should there be 2 preseason games? Probably. Every time I hear a coach say, "Oh, we need to evaluate the players. We need the 3 games," you don't play half your roster. 2 games should be plenty of time to evaluate the 68th guy on your roster. Plus, you're going to practice with 1 or 2 other teams. Most teams do that now. So it's silly to think that these games are needed. But the fact is, there are going to be some teams, some very, very good teams, the Baltimore Ravens, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Bill Belichick, and the Patriots. They play their guys in the preseason. And, as much as part of me wants to say, man, you got to put these guys in bubble wrap till opening day, I'm not saying there's just as much danger in that, but, in so many cases, the New York Giants, you need to see Daniel Jones try to figure out how he's going to be able to play with this awful offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get into the first game of the year against Von Miller and Bradley Chubb in the Meadowlands and say, oh, how are we going to figure this out now? And so, I do think there's some value, especially for up-and-coming growing teams, to play their guys in these games.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.